Hello, friends. I am the man with no identity, the man formerly known as John Henderson.
Welcome to the Theater of Thrills!
We continue with our radio serial, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. It's amazing how long this serial is. You would think that Mr. Hyde would be a serial killer? Previously, Henry Jekyll volunteered his medical services to help the poor with Margaret Addison. And then his alter ego, Mr. Hyde, goes to visit Hetty Wilson. Enjoy.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now present George Edwards in Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Come, my dear. What's the matter?
Who are you?
I told you. My name is Edward Hyde. I'm a friend of Henry Jekyll's.
But I told me you were away.
So I was. I've been out of town for some time, but I came back, as you can see. Come, you're quite unnerved. If I hadn't had the presence of mind to fling my coat over that lamp when you dropped it, you might have caused a serious fire.
You frightened me.
I can quite understand that. If you were expecting the godlike Henry Jekyll, I'm not much like him, am I?
Not much.
Come, my dear. Am I as bad as all that? Can't you bear to look at me without a shudder? See, I'll light another lamp in this room and you can take a good look at me. See now? How's that?
Go away. Don't come near me.
Tut, that's not very nice of you. After all, you're enjoying my hospitality, you know.
Where's Henry? Why didn't he come?
Our dear good friend Henry Jekyll has been detained. Social engagements, I believe. You know how these things are with our young gentlemen of fashion.
But he said he'd come at 10 o'clock.
And you've always found him reliable in the past? Not the first time you've waited in vain for him to keep an appointment with you, is it? Still, he did have the grace to send me and his apologies.
This is his way of getting rid of me, isn't it? He knows it's either stay here or go back to prison. I might have known he'd do something like this.
Oh, no, this is entirely my own idea. You misjudge Henry if you think he wishes you any harm.
Of course, he's never done me any harm, has he? It wasn't him that tricked me into coming up here to London, promising to send me money, coming to see me. It wasn't him that drove me into taking that job in Red Mix Dance Hall, was it?
And he regretted it.
Regretted it? Sends his apologies, I suppose, like he did tonight. That's Henry. Nice and charming. And false as they make 'em.
Be careful what you say about him. He's my friend. I know Henry Jekyll. He wouldn't hurt a living soul.
Oh, you man.
He's a saint, you hear? No one can say a single word about him.
Then they don't know him like I do, that's all.
He does good every day of his life. Think of the sick people he helps, the poor people he gives food to, the children he sends away for holidays.
Henry Jekyll does?
Yes, Henry Jekyll. But you drag him down because of the folly of his youth and his human weakness. You destroy all this. I'm not a handsome fella like Henry, am I? Take a look in the mirror there.
No.
Come on, don't turn away.
Take your hands off me. Your hand in the back of my neck.
I want to see your face up against mine.
No.
See. There we are. Beauty and the Beast. You haven't lost your looks for all that you've been through.
Let me go.
Not till you've had a look.
I don't want to look. You're idiots.
Pale, aren't I? As though I never saw the sun. And there's something wrong with my forehead. Deformed, some people would call it. And my eyes, they slit upwards, and they're small and mean and set too close. But my mouth, that's the worst part of me, don't you think? Did you ever see another mouth like mine? All those teeth, they're more like fangs, aren't they?
Yes.
And have you noticed my hands? Not a bit like Henry's, are they? He's a large, firm, white, and beautiful. But mine, they're more like the hands of an ape, hairy and knotted and hideous, but strong, so strong. See, I can place them round your throat like this.
Get them away, get them away.
It's all right, my dear. It isn't my intention to strangle you. Not yet.
Let me go. Let me get out of this.
Where are you going to, my dear? Remember who and what you are.
Yes, that's right. I got nowhere to go. I'm a wanted criminal. It's either prison or you.
Come now, am I so terrible? Am I worse than those warders?
Did I tell you about that?
Henry Jekyll and I are the closest friends. We have no secrets from each other.
And you wonder why I hate him. He brought me here on purpose so that he could send you. But you'll pay for it. I'll make him.
If you so much as try to harm him, if you say one single thing against him, I'll take that throat of yours in my hands and I'll crush it to a jelly. Come here. Fool, stop your whimpering. You're here alone with me, and I intend to keep you here. Wipe your eyes and fetch me that decanter of wine. I've had enough of talk.
Miss Utterson, I'm awfully sorry to trouble you at such an hour, but I'm at my wit's end. Do you happen to know where Dr. Jekyll is?
Isn't he with you, Nurse Peters? Well, he had dinner here, but left early, saying he had to be down to see a patient at 10 o'clock.
At 10 o'clock? Well, I don't know anything about that. The clinic shuts at 5 o'clock. And Dr. Jekyll wasn't expected down again till 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon.
Was there some special case he had to see about?
Not that I know of. But I've come now because of little Johnny Burke.
Oh, the little boy who was knocked down this afternoon?
Yes. His mother came along to me in a terrible state. It's taken a very bad turn. I don't like to say without Dr. Jekyll seeing him, but it seems to me like internal hemorrhage.
Good heavens. And can't you find him?
No. I went to his house, but none of the servants have seen him there since about 9:30.
Oh, that'll be after he left here. Did they try in his laboratory?
Yes. He did go out there, but the whole place is in darkness now.
Then what will you do? Is the little boy very bad?
Very bad indeed.
Oh, that's terrible. Can't we get another doctor?
Oh, no, Miss Artisan. No other doctor would come. It's Dr. Jekyll's case.
But supposing he dies?
No other doctor would come.
Oh, then we've got to find him. If you wait a minute, I'll come with you.
But where can we look?
Well, he told me he was going to see a patient. We can look in his case book. There may be something there to help us.
Yes.
Anything wrong, Margaret?
Oh, Daddy, this is Nurse Peters from Henry's clinic. A little boy who met with an accident this afternoon is very ill, and we've got to find Henry.
But you're not thinking of starting off at this hour of the night. It's close on 11.
But the little boy's terribly ill. He must have help.
And what are you going to do?
We're going to Henry's house to see if we can find out where he is.
Margaret, you can't do that.
Why not?
Let me send one of the servants round with a message.
I'll be all right, Daddy. Nurse Peters will be with me.
I insist that you take either John or me with you. You can't go out unaccompanied at this hour of the night.
Very well, Daddy. You come. And tell John, too. It's a good idea, because he can be looking in one place while we go somewhere else. Oh, Daddy, he's such a dear little boy. We've got to do what we can to save him. Don't you see that?
That's Henry's work, not yours.
Henry's work is my work, Daddy. Don't you understand that much?
No, Miss Addison, Dr. Jekyll isn't home. He left here soon after 9:30. and he hasn't come in yet.
But where did he go?
I've no idea. He left by way of the laboratory.
The laboratory?
Yes. You see, there's a door that lets him out onto the street by a back way. He often goes out that way, miss.
But look, I can see a light there now. He must have come back again.
I believe you're right.
Daddy, Nurse Peters, he's here.
Where?
In his laboratory. The light's just come on in the upper room. In the window, see?
Well, you wait in the carriage with Nurse Peters, and I'll go out and get him. Will you take me through the house, Poole?
Yes, Mr. Utterson. Certainly, sir. Come this way, sir.
Thank you.
Tell him it's urgent, Daddy.
My dear, I imagine Henry knows more about the seriousness of internal hemorrhage than you do.
Just follow me, Mr. Utterson. I'll bring a lamp and light you across the courtyard. It's a very bleak night tonight, sir.
It is indeed. Oh, in heaven's name, what's that? Poole, what's happening in there?
In there, sir? I don't know, sir.
Someone's being strangled, surely. Oh, quickly. We must break in the door.
Oh, no, sir, no, sir. I wouldn't do a thing like that, sir. I wouldn't know how to explain it, sir. It's part of Dr. Jekyll's work, sir. That's all it is, sir.
What? Those cries and groans? Part of Dr. Jekyll's work? Then what devil's business is he engaged in?
I don't know, sir. But he's given me the very strictest instructions that none of the servants but me is to come over here. And even I'm not to break in, no matter what I see or hear.
I see. It's stopped now. There's silence.
Yes, sir. It's always like that, sir. In a few minutes, one or the other of them will come out.
One or the other? What do you mean?
Dr. Jekyll or Mr. Hyde, sir.
Who is this Edward Hyde?
I couldn't say, sir.
Yet he comes here?
Off and on, sir. Sometimes we don't see him for weeks. Then he might be here almost every day, but please say nothing about it to Dr. Jekyll, sir. He'd be very angry with me for discussing it.
Have no fear, Poole. You can absolutely rely on me.
Who's there?
'Tis I, Utterson, and Poole.
What do you want?
There's a message for you, Henry. A little boy you attended this afternoon has suddenly become very ill. The nurse suspects hemorrhage.
Oh, very well then. I'll be down in a minute.
Would you like me to come in?
No. Well, what do you mean?
Nothing. It's just that I thought I heard you cry out a few minutes ago.
No, I'm perfectly all right. Go back to the house. I'll be over in a little while.
Very well, Henry.
We'd best be getting back, sir. No point in standing here.
No. Come along.
Mr. Utterson, you won't mention anything of what I told you about Mr. Hyde, sir, will you? It's just that you, being such an old friend of the family, sir...
I quite understand, Poole, and I appreciate your confidence.
I think Dr. Jekyll's too much by himself, sir, if you ask me. Since his mother died, there's been practically nobody here but the servants and himself. It's too lonely. A man gets morbid or takes up with bad company, sir.
That depends very greatly on the man, don't you think?
Dr. Jekyll's never been the same as other young men, sir. Even as a boy, he was given to reading and sitting by himself. Too clever, if you ask me, sir.
Well, we'll have to see what we can do about it, Poole.
There you are, Daddy. Did you find him?
Yes, my dear, we did. He'll be in just a moment.
Nurse Peters has gone back to the little boy. She thought she might be able to do something while we were looking for Henry.
Well, I think I can hear him coming across the courtyard now, so he'll soon be on his way as well.
Henry, is that you?
Yes. I'm coming now.
We've been looking for you every... Why, Henry,
What's the matter?
how pale you are. You look ill. Is anything wrong?
No, nothing. Poole, have you got any coffee?
Yes, sir. If you'll wait a minute, sir, I'll bring it up.
See that it's hot. I won't have any milk. What about you, Margaret? And you, Mr. Addison, would you care for some? No, we'll get along. You'll have to hurry away, and we'll only delay you. Are you ready, Margaret?
Yes, Daddy, I'm coming. Henry, are you quite sure you're all right?
Yes, dear. Yes, dear. I'm a little tired, that's all. I've been working very hard.
I wish I could share your work. Be with you now when you go to that little boy.
Well, that's impossible, my dear. It may mean an immediate operation. I'll have to get him into a hospital. I'll probably be up all night.
If I could only be here when you get back.
If only you could.
When, Henry? When?
Margaret, are you ready? Go to your father, Margaret, my dear. He'll give you the answer to that question.
Daddy, what do you mean? You can't have anything real against Henry.
No, my dear, I haven't.
I'm 21 now. You asked me to wait till I was before I finally made up my mind.
And you were a good daughter and granted an old man's request.
I'd do anything for you, Daddy. Anything but give up Henry.
And I'd do anything in the world to feel that the love you have for him is merited.
Why do you say that? What has he done?
Nothing that I can name. It's just an instinct. Something that warns me to be wary.
Oh, how can I be expected to listen to things like that? You don't know him like I do. If you could see his face as he bends over those sick people, talks to the children...
I know. Henry is a very complex character, has possibly more goodness and nobility in him than the rest of us.
And you think there's something bad as well?
There's something I can't name.
I know. I've felt it too. There's a strangeness about him. But that doesn't make me love him any less. And I do love him, Father. There'll never be anybody else for me, ever.
Oh, very well, my dear. If that's the case, I'll say no more.
And you'll let us be married?
You're of age now. You can marry when and whom you please.
Ah, yes, but I want your consent. You know how much I love you, too, Daddy. You've been so wonderful to me, dear.
Since the day your mother died, there's been one thing only in my life. Your happiness.
And it'll be safe with Henry. I know it will. And he needs me. If I were to desert him, that thing we both of us feel might destroy him, you know.
As long as it doesn't destroy you.
Never. And you'll tell him you won't oppose our marriage anymore?
I'll tell him. I might call in tonight. I have to pass that way after a meeting I have to attend.
Oh, thank you, dearest. Thank you. You'll never be sorry, I'm sure.
Good gracious. Is that really 12 o'clock?
Yes. What no windbag the chairman is. He could have cut that report in half and told us just as much.
I had intended paying a call on young Henry Jekyll on my way home, but it's far too late for that now.
Oh, you might find him still up. He keeps pretty late hours.
It's only a block or so away, and I pass his place, so I'll see if there's a light still burning.
Do you mind if I walk with you? Find I sleep better if I take a little exercise last thing at night.
Oh, yes, do come along. I'll be glad of your company. How deserted the streets are. Not a soul abroad besides ourselves.
There's something a little uncanny in seeing the streets so empty, isn't there? And listen to that wind.
Well, come along. Let's button up our coats and hurry along. Come down this side street. It's a shortcut, and it'll take us almost to the square where Jekyll lives.
Oh, we're not alone any longer. There's someone else hurrying along home.
Yes, what an odd-looking creature he is, too. Do you see the way he walks? A kind of cat-like shuffle, if such a thing were possible.
Making a fair pace. Around the corner another minute.
Yes, with that heavy stick of his and the long black cloak fluttering in the wind, he looks like some weird night creature Hardly human at all.
Funny you should say that. I was just thinking the same.
Good Lord, just look at that.
I say, wait, what's he doing?
That child, it ran into him as he turned the corner.
He's striking it. It's fallen under his feet. Look.
Oh, come quickly. He'll have it killed. Hi there. What are you doing?
Stop.
He's taken to his heels. Winter, can you catch him?
I'll try. You'll take care of the child.
Yes, yes. Oh, there. Now. No, don't be frightened. Oh, he won't hurt you anymore. Tell me, what happened?
He knocked me down. He beat me with his stick.
But why? Did you bump into him?
I was running out, and I didn't see him.
And where had you been at this time of night?
My father's sick, and I was there to get the doctor.
Oh, come, you poor little thing. See, let me wipe the mud off your face and hands. I don't exactly know. My friend and I were walking along the street, and this little girl bumped into a man who was hurrying on ahead of us. He lost his temper and beat her with the stick.
I was looking out the window. It was horrible. The most horrible thing I ever saw. Oh, it's a pitiful thing.
My friend took after him. He may catch him.
Look at the poor little thing. I'm dead with fright. Here's also let you left the promenade. If I was very sick, she had to go for the doctor.
Where he comes now? The doctor. Then have a look at her and see if she's barely hurt. Look at her poor little mouth. He drove her teeth out through her lips. I'd like to string up the lamppost, I would.
What is the matter here? Been an accident?
This child has been injured, Doctor, but I don't know how badly.
Oh, let me have a look at her. Now stand back, everybody. Stand back. I can't do anything unless you give me room. Come now. What happened to you? Did something knock you down?
Yes, sir. A man.
A man? Fiend, more like. He knocked her down and trampled her underfoot with his boots.
Oh, dear. But why? What had she done?
Bumped into him. She ran along the street.
Oh, where is this man now?
Here he comes now. The other man's coursing.
Oh, my word, so he has. Well done, Winter. Did you have any trouble?
No, not at all. He came along without a protest.
Let's have a look at him. Bring him into the light.
Come on.
Now, little one, don't be afraid. He won't hurt you again. Hold up your face, you cur. Let me have a look at you, if you're not too ashamed.
I should be delighted to reveal my face. If the ladies and gentlemen present are not afraid to look.
Mercy on us. Did you ever see such a face?
And now, might I ask, what it is you require of me?
You might ask indeed. I saw you attack this child. You'll pay for it to the last penny.
Yes, and more than that. Let's give him a taste of his own medicine. What about that stick he's carrying?
You can't do this.
He did it to the child.
But there are better ways to punish him than that. We'll hand him over to the law. We'll make his name reek from one end of London to the other. If he has any friends or any credit, we'll see that he loses them.
Yes.
He'll carry the brand of this night's work to the end of his days.
Your eloquence does your legal training credit, Mr. Utterson.
What? You know me? Who in heaven's name are you?
You may have heard of me. My name is Edward Hyde.